What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good evening, or wherever you are, and whatever time it is, and welcome back to yet another video with you, man, Immersiaholic. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another online battle for the Divided to Power Over mod for Total War Rome 2. Today, we have a battle replay sent in by my good friend Andre Lemgard. He is playing as the Getae, and he's taking on username Dagger, playing as the Suebi. This is going to be an epic clash of barbarians going against each other in their various little barbarian subculture groups. We have the Germans taking on the Dacians from the south. This is going to be very interesting indeed. So of course, big props to my man Andre for sending in this replay. Highly appreciate it, my man. He sent me a few so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing more from him as well. This is also a replay from a tournament that Andre recently played in, so you're probably going to see some difference in gameplay style, army composition, and all of that. I don't know all of the details regarding that specific tournament, but I do know that Andre sent me a small rule set regarding the army compositions that they had to follow, so I'll just reiterate it to you all. They had 22,500 cash. The rules were max of 5 ranged units, max of 5 units being the same, and max of 3 two-handed units, for example, such as berserkers that use two-handed weapons. But anyway, that's all he sent me regarding that, so let's check this out. But like I said, expect a very different and probably higher level of gameplay for this battle, so this is going to be exciting. So starting way out here on the far left, you can see this army position is insanely massive. Look how far this goes. Oh my goodness. But going from left to right, we have the Dacian bodyguard where his general is. Then we have another Dacian bodyguard unit. The Dacians don't have amazing cavalry, and so I'm not surprised to see more than one single kind of bodyguard type unit. But it doesn't register as having 2 generals, so don't worry. He only has a 1 general. It's just that's his general right there on the far left. And then continuing to the right, though, we have some Dacian folksmen in the rear. And we're going to start at the back and work our way forward. And I know that's what she said. But the Dacian folksmen are right here. These are the very low tier levy style versions of them, though. So they have no armor, no melee defense whatsoever. But they have very high weapon damage and attack. So still a very powerful unit. Then we have another one here in the center in the rear. And on the far right, we also have more Dacian folksmen. But then we work our way forward. And we see a Dacian chosen folksman unit. Basically like that last folksman unit we were just looking at, except actually pretty solid melee defense at 11 and a decent armor of 25, so much better unit. And then going to the right, we have another chosen folksman unit, and then another way over there on the far right. Now the front line, though, we have Getae chosen seeker bearers. We have 1 unit here, another unit here. What's this one? Another one. So 3, 4, and 5. That is his main body line. The chosen seeker bearers, very aggressive unit, but they're not very well armored, so they're not going to last long in a melee, in my opinion. We'll see if they do or not. But they have decent armor piercing damage, and they're just overall a very mobile unit. But there is 300 men per unit as well, so it looks like that we have a rush type of build coming in here from Andre, but we'll see. In front of the Seeker Bearers, though, he has some Getae armored archers, only a single unit. I'm guessing he's going to use this unit for flaming arrows to try and scare enemy units, but we'll see. But that's what I would do, and I have done actually in a few battles. It's a lot of fun doing that. You should try it. But anyway, we then have Dacian chosen spearmen right here at the front, far left. Armor of 15, massive defense of 19. Woo! That is large. I know, guys, I know. And then we have another one over here. But then on the far right hand flank, we then have another Dacian bodyguard unit and another Dacian bodyguard unit. So we have a lot of bodyguard cav. Let's start the battle and see what the Suebi have to offer to answer to this pretty interesting build. Battle begins by the Getae player moving forward, sending his cavalry way the hell out here to do some exploring. The Suebi do have, I believe, 1 single cav unit that has the stalk ability, I think. I'm pretty sure it's a Suebi. So it makes sense that Andre here is trying to really spread out, use his cavalry to really scout the terrain. Makes a lot of sense, doing it on the left-hand flank as well. The cavalry are slightly ahead of the main army while the main army's still coming up, so keep that in mind. To newer online players, always better to have the cav just a little bit ahead at least. Try and get as much as you can with your line of sight. Over here, we're starting to see the Suebi pop up. Interesting positioning here. We'll give it another moment before we slow down time and really check out the army comp. Looks like the main battle line's here, flank is over here, and then over there. Cavalry in the rear, interesting choice. Give it a little bit more time before we check out the army comp, but gotta be careful. Kind of getting a little close to that red line there, sir. Not sure. Oh, no, I do know. This is played by Dagger. Gotta be careful with that, but look at this. Very cheeky. I like it. We're seeing skirmishing, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that crazy? In a Rome 2 online battle. It's not crazy. It's not unheard of, but it is not easy to pull off. And so I'm going to be really interested to see if Andre can handle the micromanagement. I'm terrible with it, so any tips would be appreciated. But yeah, I just suck at it. Okay, let's pause really quickly, go over the Suebi army comp, at least what we can see, and then we'll continue with the battle. So, from going left to right, we have some Kingsguard Spearmen, although it isn't the actual general right now. The general is on a cav unit. It is the Germanic Heavy Cavalry right here. He then has another Heavy Cav unit there, along with some late Germanic Elite Swordsmen. You can see a lot of those, I'm sure. Another Germanic Heavy Cav unit. 2 units of Berserkers. Yes, 2 units of Germanic Berserkers. And then in front of them, we have some Noble Germanic Swordsmen, another one, and another one, so 3 in total. And then we have some Skirmishers, Proven Warriors, one right here, and another one right here. This is a Javelin unit. No Stalk ability. I thought it did have it, but it doesn't. Interesting. Does have Guerrilla deployment, but it doesn't matter too much right now. And then we have another Noble Germanic Swordsman unit, so 4 Germanic Swordsmen in the front line up here. Then we have Berserkers and some Elite Swordsmen on the left. Probably another one on the right. Oh, it's right here. There's the late Germanic Elite Swordsman. What a laugh. We have some more very elite Spearmen on the far right-hand flank, although they're quite slow, so they're definitely going to need to be kind of moving before they need to try and help out their own cavalry. Start the battle up, get the real time going. I have already actually recorded a battle replay from Andre, but it wasn't working, unfortunately. I'm getting some issues. Not sure if it's something to do with the mod list or maybe just the update, but some of the replays that I've been recording have been showing me things that actually didn't happen in the online battle, and in a way that's kind of immersion breaking, so I don't show it to you guys. But that's also the reason why we only had one video last week. Spend like a good amount of time recording an episode or 2 for it all to be kind of wasted. Definitely is a shame. But anyway, hopefully this battle doesn't glitch out. It's looking pretty fine right now. Andre skirmishing still. 2 contingents of 2 horse archers. He is moving his whole army around a little bit. Looks like we're going to kind of go diagonally southeast to northwest. When you're comparing it on the minimap at least, so very interesting. Let's get this bingy out of the way. Here comes the skirmisher camp for another run against the Suebi, targeting the general. Good idea, that general's way too far forward. What I would like to see from the Suebi player is to have a concentrated push with his cavalry. I know he'd have to really extend, but either really push with your cav or get your cavalry like in the back so they can support your flanks, and then just push your entire army forward and get rushing. Form a line here, here, and engage. Because otherwise these skirmisher cav, they're just gonna have a field day. They'll keep skirmishing to death, or they'll draw out the cavalry into a position where their own infantry can support. It's definitely not what he wants. He has a unit over here. It's not hidden. It's kind of left out on their own, but on its own. There we go. He must have heard me in this battle replay. We do only have 7 more minutes in this replay, and yet we still haven't seen any solid engagements occurring. Very interesting. Although, it does look like we're seeing a rush-style build, at least from the Getae the Suebi, not so much, or at least not as what as it could be, because of all those skirmishers. I wouldn't bring any skirmishers if I was doing a rush build, except maybe a single archer unit to do that flaming arrow damage. against the morale. Suebi is trying to move forward along here, along the right. Still, I mean, not too close to the red line. That's fine. Still plenty of room to maneuver. If the Getae player wishes to. Suebi player is rushing over here, though. Maybe trying to take this hill? I would hope not. It's on the edge of the red. Maybe just trying to outflank the Getae cavalry. Draw them out of position, which is working. They are having to come all the way over here. Instead of be skirmishing, they have to come and support their own flank. There is spearmen in front, though. But the one issue the Getae player has is that he has no skirmishers, no real ones, like as in infantry. So he's going to have to make a big push here shortly. Otherwise, the Suebi archers, Suebi skirmishers, like javelinmen, sorry, will deal a lot of damage to some of his units for no cost. Still doing very good with his cavalry to micromanage them while still moving his whole army. Here comes the push now, potentially, from the Getae player. Very, very important for both sides to get the first charge with both of their units here. This Getae unit's in the way though, needs to go away. Or it can charge forward itself, take up a charge of a Suebi unit. Very nice usage actually of the spearman unit. This one looks like it's going to try and protect the flanks of the Seeker Bearers, so interesting call. Oh, some friendly fire with those javelins, but not too much. Main battle line is engaging. The Suebi have had their charge disrupted. I would almost retreat if I was a Suebi player right now. If you're the Suebi and you don't get a good charge with your units, you are screwed. Look at this. This is a Berserker unit too. He's pushed forward his Berserkers. Oh my gosh, what an absolute waste. No. One Berserker unit and another. Oh wait, hang on. Is that one? No, it's not. Where was it? Where the bloody hell is it? Oh, there it is. It's mixed up because its units are, they actually are right here, but the flag wasn't there. So yeah, Germanic Berserkers tied up here by one spearman unit. The other one does get a charge against the swordsman. Good for him. Left-hand flank of the Getae player getting pressured on. Having to pull back, but he doesn't need to push. He just needs to be defensive. Right-hand flank for the Getae is going well. Germanic spearmen are trying to get involved, but it's way too late. Suebi Cav is dealt with, at least for a minute, because now the Suebi player is circling around with his cavalry. As he should, because he's not going to get anything done with such little room in between the red. Main battle line continues pushing. This is where the real battle is going to happen, in my opinion. Cavalry, it's important, but not as important in this battle. Getae player needs good trades with his infantry. Look at this, very bad. No, 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 no. Know what you want. Suebi player got the charge. Suebi unit should do well, although they have 2 units to cut through this, so that's going to take a while. Starting to see some Berserkers waver. Oh my gosh. A Berserk unit just routed off the battlefield, only killing 78 men. What an absolute waste. Oh no. Terrible news for the Suebi player. They should have gotten triple those kills. Getae player coming in with his cavalry still, although the Germanic player still has cav. This is a little risky. Getae player needs to be careful. Needs to have all of his cavalry around now, come and help out, but nope. He's gonna try and draw away the Suebi cav. Not a bad idea, but look at these archers. He's getting a lot of free kills over here. Oh, I actually didn't point out earlier that he has archers. 1, 2, and 3 units are archers. Sorry about that, guys. I thought there was archers, but anyway. The 3 units of archers plus the 2 javelinmen. So the Suebi player came very heavy with the skirmishing. No flaming arrows coming in from this archer unit. That's a big misstep in my opinion. Don't bother using that on the enemy skirmishers. Focus on the infantry with it. Or cavalry. Speaking of which, we're having a massive cluster over here. Getae player looking like he's going to come out on top. He has infantry coming in, and he just got a good charge on the 2 Suebi units that were already stuck. Cavalry is coming in, but there should be more Getae cav. Yep, here it comes. General's coming in. Infantry are coming in to charge the Suebi now. Looks like the Suebi are losing that main battle line. Those Berserkers just not getting the bang for their buck. Is the other Berserker unit gone already? Let's have a look. Looks like it. I'm not seeing any berserkers on the field. Or is this them here? No, but we're seeing a bunch of rats come in. Both sides are losing units, but the Suebi are down to their skirmishers, cavalry, some spearmen, sword unit. Man, this flank over here, this is what decides everything. If these Suebi cavalry somehow kill all of these units quite quickly, Suebi can take the win here. But if they can't, I think the Getae player has this. I think this is where the battle's decided, ladies and gentlemen. Right here, we're seeing an absolute mess of units. Getae horsemen are routing, but Getae infantry are coming in. And next to Folksmen, they should be good against cavalry. Just as useful as a spearman, just about. Especially on the charge, even more so. Man, very, very close fight here. Germanic cavalry are bogged down. He needs to be cycle charging. Get him out, get him back in. Out and back in. Both sides. Doesn't look like it. Looks like the Suebi's gonna end up losing his general here. That general routes, we might see a shadow across the entire front line, or what's left of it. Only two small pockets of Germanic resistance over here. And they won't last long whatsoever. German leader flees from the field. The cavalry will follow suit. We pop a war cry just there. The Getae player times it perfectly. And Andre comes in with the victory. There's absolutely no way that could have turned around. After that general fled, the Suebi player was done for. So GG's to Andre for sending in the replay. Thank you very much to Dagger for participating. Now let's very quickly just cover the statistics of the battle, and then we'll call it there. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about these statistics. So my man Andre brought in 4,100 men compared to 3,300. So instantly the Suebi player has less men. He actually had more units, but less men, because a lot of the Getae units actually were made up of 300 men. Most of that being the spearmen, I believe. So that's probably a big reason why the Getae player had a lot more. The three Folksman units were also 300 man cohorts or platoons, whatever you want to call them, 300 units. So that's why there was so many more men for the Getae player. I don't think outnumbering the enemy army is as much of a deal breaker or deal maker in online battles as it might seem. 1,000 men, almost 1,000 men difference seems like a lot, but quality over quantity, man. I mean, a 300 man unit of Folksmen should get decimated by a 200 unit of Berserkers, in theory. So I wouldn't instantly give the win to Andre based on numbers alone. At least that's the main point I'm trying to get across. Numbers aren't everything. However, the numbers that your units put up are everything. And as we can see, comparing left to right, the Suebi player just had way too many units that did not have the right numbers. All of the archers were pretty much useless. The swordsman actually did pretty good. If my unit got 100 or more kills, I would be happy with most of these swordsman units. And the majority of them did, so they actually did pretty well. However, besides the archers kind of not being all that useful, the biggest downfall in my opinion for the Suebi player was the low numbers for the Berserkers. These Berserkers are everything for the Suebi. I would have got 3 of them, first off, but second off, they just need more kills. They needed a better charge. You really have to protect them. And in my opinion, Berserkers need to be treated like how you treat elephants in Rome 2, especially in DEI, because they're very vulnerable to having their charges disrupted, and they can also die very, very fast to enemy skirmisher fire. So while it's really cool that the Suebi player brought these guys, they just got nowhere near the kills that they should have. 300 plus kills is a good match for Berserkers. 200 kills minimum is what it should be, in my opinion. Whereas comparing the Germanic army to the Getae army, you can see that there's not as much of an even distribution in kills, but the units that got the high kills were the ones that were supposed to. For example, the Seeker Bearers weren't really meant to get a lot of kills. Getting 100 or more is actually really good for them. The Folksmen, though, one unit got 97 kills, which isn't a lot, but they also lost hardly any men. Another unit got 170 kills and lost almost no men. That's very impressive. The archers got 267 kills apparently. Not sure how that came in. Still very nice numbers. However, I did notice that archer unit was focusing on the Germanic archers. In my opinion, I wouldn't have done that. I would have instead focused on using flaming shot on wavering Germanic units. So could have had a rout a lot faster if you did do that. And then the cavalry of the Getae player. Fantastic. Those bodyguard units were very nice. They're not the most amazing cavalry, but they are a fantastic, good tier unit. Very good melee attack, good armor, decent melee defense. They basically have everything. A bit of a jack of all trades, master of none, but a very good jack of all trades. So, excellent cavalry choice. I'm really impressed that the Getae player actually won the Cav war there, but the Suebi player just didn't bring enough. So, in my opinion, I would have just not brought in these archers on the Suebi part, or if you did, just bring one. Try to bring another unit or two of cavalry, and then one more berserker unit, and just let the berserkers be more protected before they get engaged into the fight, because if they don't get a good charge, or if they're getting hit in the rear or by archer fire, then they're going to die really quick. And that seems to be one of the things that helped tip the balance in Andre's favor. So again, thank you very much to my man Andre for sending this replay. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one.